All right. If anybody caught the first attempt, sorry it cut out. The Wi-Fi is a little sketchy apparently today. So gonna do a quick recap and then we'll get back to our training talk. So if you're just joining, welcome to Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral. We do this chat every Tuesday. So welcome. It is the first talk of February, so we're going to be launching a new theme for this month, which is training foundations. And the topic we're going to be exploring today in brief is the concept of periodization. Sometimes I have trouble saying that word, periodization. So periodization essentially informs, in the science behind periodization, informs how we structure a sound training plan, one that is well thought out, individualized for each athlete depending on their goals and their limiters, and really where they want to go. Periodization takes into account primarily three factors, okay? And these are different variables that can be manipulated to promote different results in each athlete. And we're looking at intensity, so how hard you're working. We're looking at training volume, so week to week, month to month, even year to year. What does the total training time look like? And then also recovery is a key factor here as well. And so the way that you put these three macro variables together within a periodization structure allows you to develop different systems for each athlete. And so that can be factors such as speed, power, efficiency, endurance. There's a whole slew of different factors that can be influenced by these three different training variables. And there are, of course, if you do a deeper dive into this, there are many more factors and variables that can be influential and have a role within the science, but this is just kind of a high-level overview to get you guys thinking about how this can help your training. And so when we look at developing any training plan, we want to look at load and recovery primarily, just from the outset. And so typically we'll look at building, volume, or intensity for 2 to 3 weeks is pretty typical. There are different types of loading strategies, but these are the two most common. The most common that you'll see is probably 3. Sometimes with our athletes we'll do 2, just depends on how quickly you recover and what works best for your body. So load or build for 2 weeks and then a recovery week. And for recovery week, that doesn't mean you're sitting on the couch eating bonbons, but it is typically a reduction in volume and or intensity with a greater focus on recovering those systems that you've stressed in the first 2 to 3 weeks of that build cycle. Okay, and so layering these mini cycles, one on top of the other or one following another, over the course of time, when you look at building out and repeating a series of these build and recovery cycles, this is where you start to see progression in strength, in endurance, in efficiency, and overall performance. A really smart training plan will take into account limiters for each athlete, and it also will take into account an athlete's experience level. And so the periodization for a beginner athlete who has no or very little background in endurance sports will look very different than someone who's been racing at an iron distance level for 10 plus years. And so that's part of the fun, it's part of the art of delving into training and figuring out the best build and the best periodization structure for you. And it's highly individualized. But there are some key tenets that we're going to be delving into a little bit later this week with our team specifically. So if you're not in there and you want to be part of this discussion, please hop in and join us. We're going to be talking more in depth about how you actually go about manipulating those variables and how we utilize those within our training plans and coaching athletes one-on-one, and how it makes them stronger, faster, but also prevents injury, and helps us stay fresh and ready for any challenge that may come our way. So I hope that this concept is useful to you and that you take it into consideration when planning out or looking for assistance in developing your own training. Have a great Tuesday. If you guys have any questions about foundations or things that you want to see coming up, please let us know. Also, we do have a couple slots left for our St. Anthony's training group, which kicked off this past weekend with an open water swim in Sand Key Beach. Really awesome crew. We're going to be working for the next 12 weeks together towards the St. Anthony's Sprint and or Olympic distance triathlon. So if that interests you, please message me and we'll get you more information. Other than that, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in and we'll see you soon. Stay badass.